welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube, and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. Okay. It is crush time.
One-sided crush, apparently.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes. Oh my god. This is like one of my top 5 favorite episodes. I watch it all the time. I love it. Because I'm a Buffy fan. So this is a good Buffy one. All right. So very aptly aired. It aired originally on February 13th, 2001 on Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day.
Written by David Fury and directed by Daniel Adius. And the synopsis is Buffy confronts Spike about his suspected crush and is appalled by his admission of love. But her brutal rejection sends him back into the clutches of Drusilla, who has returned to Sunnydale, intent on returning Spike to his killer ways.
I got it right.
You did. You did. And you didn't even hesitate. You were like, Drusilla.
Who else is it going to be?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Like, it could have been Riley, I guess, but
Angel?
I just felt like it wasn't.
You said no.
No.
So you didn't think it was going to be Angel or Riley.
No, I mean, Riley popped in my head, but I was like, I just don't think they're going to bring him back. So, and Angel's gone. He's done. Bye.
Bye. He's off doing his own show now.
Yep, that's right. No more Bangle.
All right. We start the episode at the Bronze, which is its grand reopening.
Wow, it looks so nice.
Because remember, Olaf took his hammer to it and destroyed a lot of it. So
yeah, so they had to redo it. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So Buffy, everybody's like dancing and everything, and Buffy's just sitting at the table herself, like relaxing. And Spike comes over, talking about he doesn't like the remodel. They like
why does he have to pay for? Why does he have to pay for people's remodels? It looked fine before.
Yeah, and that also that they remodeled the like blooming onion off the menu, and he is not happy about it because he loved that thing. Right. So he's just chit chatting with her, and she's just looking like dumbfounded at him, like,
why are you in here?
Why are you talking to me? What are you doing? And he's like, oh well, I just thought you were just sitting here. I thought I'd just come talk to you. She's like, no. So he gets it to leave, but then he comes back, and he says, we were like fighting Glory together. We were on the same team. And she's like, you were knocked unconscious. He's like, well, I tried, basically. And he's like trying to like the reason with her, like why they should kind of like be friends or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Xander comes up.
He's like, hey, Evil Dead, you're in my seat.
Yeah.
that made me laugh.
So Spike's like, oh, fine. So he leaves. And they all come back to the table. Willow is still getting headaches from, remember, she like collapsed after she did the spell on Glory. So she's getting like nosebleeds and headaches from that. Yep. And they're like, okay, we're not gonna talk about Glory. We're gonna just call her something else.
Have a night off. Just have a night off. Yeah.
Yeah. And Xander is apparently payday man, and he's buying all the drinks for everybody. But oops, his change is gone. Somebody stole his change. Who could it be?
Spike.
And I look over at the bar, and they see him paying for another beer. Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, he did that. And Buffy sees Dawn. Buffy sees Ben, and she wants to, she goes over and says hi to him, and she wants to thank him for helping with Dawn. And he looks a little scared. Like, oh God, what did she tell you? But he's like, you're just looking out for her. He's like, oh yeah, sure. And then they just kind of start chit-chatting.
And Spike looks over. Ooh, is he jelly?
So at the bar, Xander is fighting with Spike about him stealing his money. And Spike does see Buffy talking to Ben and is not even listening to Xander. He's like, what's going on over there? What's that guy? Who's that dude? So at this train station, a train arrives and a attendant, I guess.
Which is weird. I don't see attendants on the trains here.
Like the platform attendant. I don't know.
I guess whatever. Some dude
gets like the train rolls up. It stops.
He's like, nobody's getting off. He's like, okay, this is the last stop. People get off. He gets
in there. He's like, everybody, hey, time to get off. And everybody's slaughtered in there.
Yep.
And he sees something, and he's running from it. And he tries to get out of the train at the last minute. He's like pulled back in.
Slow.
Pulled back in and attacked. So what are the credits? And when we come back, we're at Buffy's. Buffy comes home from the Bronze, and Joyce and Dawn are watching TV, and Giles is just reading a book.
Yeah, Giles is there, right?
And Joyce is like, oh, I'm so glad you're home. I wasn't feeling safe.
And Giles is like, hi.
And Buffy kind of gives her mom like a side eye. She's like, I mean, until I remembered Rupert was here, and then I felt much better. And he's like, yeah, thanks, but yeah, I'm not a slayer, so I did my best. So he's going to leave, and him and Buffy kind of have like a hushed conversation by the door about Dawn and how she's doing, and she's like pretty good considering, you know, all she's learned. And Buffy says that we've been going easy on her, like not being as strict with her like as a normal teenager, letting her get away with things. And
Giles is like, no, you should treat her normally.
Yeah, treat her normally.
Yeah.
And then so Buffy whips around and says, "You stole my blue cashmere sweater." And she's like, I didn't take it. Like, you didn't touch my stuff. And she's like, I didn't take your sweater. And then we see where the sweater is gone. So we go to Spike's crypt, and he is just like caressing the blue sweater.
The blue sweater.
Yeah, just looking at it and thinking about Buffy. And then Harmony comes in. Comes over.
Tries seducing him, and he is not having it.
No, he's over her now.
Why?
He's like,
Also,
why
is she not over him? Is what I want to know.
I know. Yeah, I know. Like,
he sucks.
A long time ago. Yeah, early season 4. She should have been like, bye. But here she is. And she's like, well, we could play a game. And so they basically Harmony role plays as Buffy.
Yeah,
in the sweater.
Yeah, she shouldn't have to do that.
Oh, I think well, I don't know. I don't know who came up with it, actually, but she came up with the game. Whatever. And, yeah, it works. To say the least.
Yes.
Yeah, it works. And then on campus, Buffy, Willow, and Tara are coming out of class, and they were talking about how they're going to have a test on the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. So they're talking about Quasimodo.
Yeah, Quasimodo.
Buffy's like, oh, yeah, I rented the movie.
She's like, is he one of the Charles Latin? He's like, oh, the one with the singing is he one of the singing gargoyles?
And what is that, like the Disney movie then? Not even like...
Yeah. And this whole like conversation about Quasimodo and everything, because like Quasimodo's actions are all selfishly motivated. This is all put in because it's supposed to be about Spike.
Yeah.
That's why this is put in here.
Yeah.
And so they're talking about how Buffy's like has not studied, and she sees another student reading a newspaper, which is weird. Like even in like early 2000s, when you would walk into a college campus, you're going to see a student reading a newspaper. Anyway, sees the vampire, like sees the headline. It says like
6 dead or something.
Yeah, like slaughter on train.
Or
so
wasn't
she
more
grabs
than 6,
it.
yeah.
And she said there was like, you know, like trauma wounds to the neck, and she's like, okay, it was a vampire.
Vampire.
Survey says vampire. At Spike's. Spike is coming out of like the lower level of his crypt. He's got a new outfit. A very initiative looking outfit.
I don't even think I noticed that.
Maybe it was from the initiative. Maybe it was part of his. It's like, yeah, it's like a whole like green stick. And Dawn shows up saying she's like goes to hang out with him, and he's like, you need to get out of here.
He has things to do.
Yeah, he has things to do.
Not for children.
Evil things. They're not for child eyes. You can tell that I've seen this freaking episode a million times. I know the whole thing by heart.
And Dawn's like, well, good. I'm not a human.
Yeah,
so.
good. I'm not a child. I'm not a human. Mm-hmm. And not to start with anyway. And he's like, well, I was, and I got over it. And then she's like, yeah, I get, that's why I like hanging out with you. Like, you can explain things so I can get them. And everybody else is acting weird. He's like, well, they're just trying to keep you safe. And then she makes the mistake of saying, well, I feel safe with you. Mm-hmm. And he does not like that. He's like, no, I am evil and I am bad. You should not feel safe around me. I do not like that. And she tries to kind of backpedal. A lot of backpedaling for a couple of the Summers women in this episode. And she's like, Buffy thinks you're so tough, and she's always worried what's going to happen if you get the chip out of your head. And when he says, oh, really? Like, what else does Buffy say? Dawn is like completely onto him. Yeah.
She realizes right away that he likes Buffy.
Like, completely onto him. She's probably like hiding in the bushes with the chocolate, and I'm sure this isn't her first clue. Yeah, so she's onto him. So Buffy comes home, And she's talking to her mom, and her mom says that Dawn didn't come home from school, and she's really worried. She thinks like this has something to do with the attack.
Especially because they get the deaths, like what's
the
going
attacks on the
here?
train and Glory and all that. So Buffy's going to go out and look for Dawn. So later, the sun's already set, and we're at Spike's, and we're in his crypt, and he is telling Dawn scary stories from his past.
But like real ones, yeah.
Yeah, real ones. So where he attacked his whole family.
Oh my God.
And there was one child, like a little girl missing, and he's like looking for her. And he like hears something in the coal bin, and he goes up there. And then Buffy bursts in and scares them both. And she comes there because she wants to get Spike to help her find Dawn. But lo and behold, Dawn's already there.
Yep.
Which Buffy's not happy about.
No, she's pissed.
She's pissed. And she's like, Dawn's like, fine, we'll go, but can you just finish the story first? And she's like, yeah, let's hear it, Spike. What's the story? And he's like, so I found a little girl, and I gave her to a good family in a nice place, like, that never locked her in a coal bin.
Oh my God.
And he tries to, like, he's like, I was going to tell her to go home, and then she just, like, walks her out of there.
And then Buffy's talking to Dawn, and she's mad. She's like, Spike's like a monster.
And she's like, well, he's cool. And she's like, you have a crush on him. Yeah, Buffy tries to tell her how crazy it is if she has a crush on Spike. And she's like, oh, hi, Angel.
Yeah.
She's like, he was different.
Oh, yeah.
He was good.
Right.
And Dawn says, it doesn't matter if I have a crush because he's completely in love with you. And Buffy's like, What was that? Excuse me? So then we go to the train where Xander and Buffy are going to like the crime scene to look for clues.
She admits that Dawn told her that Spike's in love with her. And
she needs to talk to Xander about it.
Xander finds this hilarious.
Yeah, and weirdly, he's more like concerned and upset that Dawn no longer has a crush on him. That now he has a crush. Now she has a crush on Spike.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
It's weird. They don't find any clues, but Buffy is stressed about this. What Dawn told her, and I like when she sits down in the chair and she sits in the exact pattern that the body was.
The tape.
Yeah, that was great. So they leave. There's nothing here. And
then we see the camera pans out to a little creepy doll.
Miss Edith.
Who's creepy? Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot it was Miss Edith. But I'm like, whose creepy doll is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Edith.
Big clue of who it is.
Right.
So now Buffy comes home from the train and she finds Spike hanging out in the kitchen laughing with her sister and mom.
I love this scene because she comes in and she like comes around the corner and at first she doesn't see Spike. She just sees Joyce and Dawn laughing, and it's just like really cute because she's like, oh, that's nice. Like things are kind of getting back to some semblance of normal. And then she starts rounding the corner and she's like, ugh.
Yeah, so Joyce says that Spike came by to apologize for Dawn being missing, and then they got talking about the gallery and like some funny stories about the gallery. And so Spike says, actually, I need to talk to Buffy too. So they go in the hall, and he says, hey, I have a lead on the people that kill, like, the vampires that killed those people on the train. And she's like very weird about him. She's like, I don't have any money. Why don't you go hit on Giles? Hit up Giles. Like she's like stumbling over words and she's very uneasy around him. And he's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, I'm going to show you. Like, let's go. And so she's
There's
like,
this warehouse.
There's a warehouse. Yeah. Vamps are holed up in a warehouse. So he's going to show her. So she's like, okay, fine. So they're in Spike's car doing like a stakeout. They're like waiting for these vampires to come back.
And he's singing the Ramones.
Yeah, the Ramones. Mm-hmm. So he like asks her if she likes the Ramones. He offers her a drink.
Yeah, he's being very gentlemanly.
Of bourbon and in a flask. We don't know if it's blood or what it is, but it's bourbon. And she's like, why are you doing this? Like, I didn't give you any money. Like, what's in it for you? But then the vampires show up. So they go into the warehouse, and I like how the vampires are just like popping popcorn.
Oh, yeah, like on a weird stove thing? Like a camping stove or something?
Yeah. They're just like popping popcorn. Yeah. And they're like, Slayer. And they just run. They don't even try to fight her. They just run. And they have a couch. They have like a whole setup, right?
Yeah, and she's like, these vampires look like they were nesting. They've been here a while. They did not do the train thing because they wouldn't want to be caught out so quickly.
And we have to call out Spike on his homophobic slur that he used, which is
what did he say?
Cool. He called them poofters. He thinks because they nested. That. Yes.
Oh, also I don't think I realized that was a I don't think I've ever heard that term before, actually. Oh, okay.
It's like a British thing. Yeah. Because he's like, oh, they're like living here together and they're nesting and stuff. So yeah, bad Spike. We don't
like that.
Don't do that.
And she's like, this was a waste of time.
Yeah, whoever did this only got there last night. These vamps have settled in. Mm-hmm. So she goes to leave, and this is where Spike really steps in it. He opens the door for her.
And she's like, what?
What is this? And then she's like, okay, I'm going to confront him. And he's like, what is this? She's like, what is this? The flask, the stakeout, the bogus suspects. What is this? A date?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what? You're insane. Like, absolutely. Do you want it to be? Like, and she's like, oh my God. Like, he just was like, okay, like, I'm just going to shoot my shot and see what happens. And she is not happy. So they have this huge fight where Spike talks about, like, them having a workplace romance. Like, when you work together.
It's normal for people who spend time together develop feelings.
Yeah, it's in the workplace. Like, things happen. And she's like, no, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And she's like,
does happen.
Yeah, not between them, she's saying. And she says, you're crazy, like you're a vampire. He's like, Angel was a vampire. And then she's like, well, he was good. And he's like, I can be too. And she's like, the chip is not you being good. But he does say, like he will turn his back on the whole evil thing. Like he will stop being evil.
He's like, he basically said something has changed for him.
Yeah, something's happening to him.
Yeah.
And he won't be evil. And then she accuses him of not having feelings, like not being capable of having feelings, which I don't think is true of vampires anyway.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, he starts to say, I love you.
And she stops him.
Like he gets halfway through love and then she stops him. Like, do not say that.
She's like, there's no we.
And he tries to talk to her more about it, but she just storms out.
Yep.
So it does not go well for Spike.
Yep.
So at Spike's, he comes home and he is like starting to cry.
He looks, like
dejected. his eyes are all like watery. And he senses somebody is there. And it turns out it's Drusilla. So Drusilla,
to make everything right again.
She wants to reunite the family. Because, okay, so a little segue to Angel.
Okay, because I was like, what is she talking about?
Yeah. So previously in this episode on Angel, Darla. Do you remember Darla?
Trying to remember who Darla is.
Angel's sire, she like wore the schoolgirl. And Angel staked her.
Okay.
She like wore the schoolgirl outfit. She was resurrected on Angel.
No.
Okay.
Resurrected vampire?
Apparently. So she was resurrected on Angel. So then Drusilla came in. I don't remember the whole storyline, but Angel like set her and Drusilla on fire, and that's why she has like the burns. So they kind of like want to get the whole gang back together. So that's why Drusilla's come to get Spike, and they want to get Spike back and they want to get Angel back.
So she asked him to go to LA.
Yeah, come to LA, and he's like, yeah, no, it doesn't agree with me, and he makes all these excuses like, well, I like Sunnydale, I can eat every day I want. She's like, I know you're lying, that you can't eat people. You have this chip. And she kind of convinces him that it's not real.
Yeah, this is weird. She's like, she doesn't believe in science.
Yeah.
The chip can't stop him. And he's like, well, it's pretty painful, actually. And she's like, oh, that's just all in your head. And I'm like,
well, it is in his head, but
I know. Well,
it's real.
Yeah, she just reminds me of those people that are like, you can cure cancer with apple cider vinegar or whatever. I don't know.
So he's like, yeah, it's real. And they're kind of talking about it. And then Harmony shows up.
Yeah.
And says, I told you I'm not having threesomes unless it's boy, girl.
Oh, yeah. That was really funny, actually.
And she thinks that he brought this girl home that kind of like looks like Drusilla. It doesn't realize it's actually Drusilla. So Spike just kind of like kicks her out now that Drusilla is back. So again, he kicks Harmony to the curb, which Harmony should not be surprised that this happened.
No, he sucks.
Bad. So
and then he kisses Drusilla.
They kiss.
Gross.
Shame. So at Buffy's, Buffy tells Willow and Joyce what happened with Spike. And this is so bad. Joyce is like, did you lead him on in any way? Like, Joyce, that's bad. That's bad for Joyce to say. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Buffy's like, well, I beat him up. Like, maybe that's it. But like that's Joyce, terrible. First, did you lead him on? Like, did you ask for this? Like,
yeah.
Joyce.
Moms sometimes say things that are just like not
Joyce
appropriate.
No. But Willow says that Buffy was so thrown that she doesn't really feel like she like shut it down enough. So Willow says she really needs to like go talk to him and make sure he knows that it's not going to happen. Shut it down completely.
And well, Joyce is kind of worried that he could be violent. And
yeah.
Buffy's like, oh, as long as it's Chips Ahoy in his head.
He can't hurt any of us. Yeah. She's like, yeah, it can get twisted. I mean, look how twisted Angel was, like when he was Angelus with her. So let me do a quick little scene to the Bronze where Drusilla and Spike are kind of like hunting and like dancing in the Bronze, and they like see people up in like the balcony area. Mm-hmm. So they go back to Buffy's, and Buffy's gonna go. She's getting up. She's gonna go talk to Spike again. But before she leaves, she asks Willow if she can do her a favor. We don't know what that favor is. So back at the Bronze, Drusilla and Spike are up in the rafters or whatever. It's not the rafters, like the balcony. And there's a couple up there, and she kills the girl. She like breaks her neck and then gives her to Spike so they can feed. So he can feed on her because she's already dead. Yeah. And then she feeds on the guy. And he does. Yeah. He feeds on her.
He does do it. I know. At first I was like, oh, he's not going to do it. But
he hesitates, but he does it. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess because she's already dead. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So at Spike's, Buffy shows up. He's not there. He's out partying at the Bronze. And then she knows that he has like this downstairs area. So she goes down there and she's looking around like, Spike, are you here? And then she sees this like covered thing. And she pulls this like sheet down. And there's that mannequin wearing her shirt, like a wig. And then like all these pictures and drawings of her.
The creepy Buffy shrine.
It's a Buffy shrine. And she's like, oh, this has gotten twisted already. This has already gotten twisted. So she like gets out of there. She climbs up the ladder, and then who does she run into but Drew and Spike coming back from the club. Yep. And Spike has like blood on his mouth. And she's confused. She's very confused. And Drew tells her that Spike's been feeding again. And Buffy is just like very confused. Been feeding again, and then Drew, somehow they got a cattle prod around somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. And she's like, I'm tired of playing, and tases her.
Tases her and knocks her out eventually after a couple of them. And then Drew was talking to Spike like what they want to do. Do they want to like tie her up? Like what do they want to do? And then Spike cattle prods Drew and knocks her out. Mm-hmm. Did you see that coming?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a feeling like something was going to have to go down though, because I didn't think he was going to side with her the whole time. Mm-hmm. I figured something had to go, but no, I didn't see that specific. No, definitely not.
So later, downstairs, Buffy comes to and she's tied up. She's like shackled up, basically. And Drew is tied up with her hands behind her, arms behind her back. So Spike now has like these women like tied up, and he's gonna make them listen. So he goes to Buffy and he tells her he's in love with her. Yeah. And his speech is actually very cute if it wasn't in context.
If she was chained up, sure.
Yes. If there wasn't a hostage situation. Yeah. It's
and if he didn't give her like an ultimatum after?
I mean, that part's not good. But like the rest of it is kind of like very passionate. It's very like William the poet, I think. Yeah. And Drusilla starts laughing because she's like, I knew the whole time that you loved Slayer. Because remember, we got that flashback to South America where she said, I can just see the Slayer all around you and everything. And Buffy's like, you don't love me. Like
that's not love.
It's not love. Like you don't know. That's not what you're feeling. And he's like, hey, to prove it to you, I'm going to kill Drusilla, which shows you how much I mean what I'm saying, because she's my sire. And there's like a whole like relationship that you have with your sire that like to kill them is a huge deal. So he's going to kill her. And if she doesn't admit that there's something between them, then he's going to let Drew go, and then Drew can attack Buffy.
Yeah, this is great.
Not a great plan, Spike.
Well, first, because he says like he'll do that to prove his love for her, and she says it doesn't prove anything except that he's evil, and she should have slayed him a long time ago. So
he comes up to her and he said, all you have to do is give me a crumb that maybe someday there's a chance. And she like has him come closer, and he's like, ooh, what? And then she says the only chance he had with her was when she was unconscious, which that's not the answer he wanted. Yeah. So in short, he has a tantrum.
He loses it.
He has a tantrum, and he's yelling about how women like mess up everything for him.
What do women want?
What do they want from him? Not to be tied up, for one. And he should just kill them all, so he doesn't like.
Yeah, he's crazy.
So they can't mess up his life anymore. And then his actual girlfriend shoots him with an arrow in the back. And I love when Harmony's like, "Did you forget about me again? The actual girlfriend?" And he's like, "Great. Oh, they're all here." And so Buffy and Harmony and Spike start fighting because she's come to like slay him, essentially. So they're fighting, and then Harmony and Drusilla and Buffy are trying to get loose.
Yeah.
And because it's just like a rope, Drusilla gets loose first and gets to Buffy. And Buffy's trying to fight her with her hands chained up. Spike's able to stop Drusilla. He throws her off Buffy and unchains Buffy. So now everybody's just standing there. Drew leaves. She's like, "You are beyond any redemption to our group or to me." So she just like leaves. Yeah. And Spike's like, "Okay, whatever. You don't really care." And then Harmony is like, and I'm going to leave, and you can say goodbye to this. And she points at her butt and like, yeah, she's like, "Goodbye. I'm bringing up with you finally." And she leaves. And then he like looks at Buffy like, and then she punches him into the shrine, which of course deserved.
He runs after her.
Yeah. So she's walking home. He runs after her. He's like, "Hey, we had a fight. It's not the first time. Like, this is how it's going to, it's okay." And she's like,
he's adamant that there's something between them.
Yeah. There's like, and before he was like, "I know this is like sick that I have these feelings for you. Like, I know it's not right. I know it's wrong." And he's like, "What we have isn't pretty, but it's real, and I'm in your life." And she's down. I'm like, "Do not come near my family or me or my friends again, ever." And he's following her up the stairs, and he's like, "You can't just like shut me out of your life." And she tries to walk into her house.
You can't. So what does that mean? Like she uninvited him or something?
Yeah. So the spell that Willow did to uninvite Angel from the house, she did for Spike.
Hmm.
And now Spike cannot. He like bounces back on a force field.
And then she slams the door in his face.
His face is like so tormented and upset that she's locked him out. Because remember, he was just telling Riley, "Hey, she just like, there was, I think it was it the other vampire? Was it Dracula that she did it to as well? Like, never taken my name off the guest list. That means something." But now she has like rescinded his invitation. And yeah, as he realizes this, his face is like so heartbroken. And in this moment, even though he deserved it all,
you feel bad for him.
You feel bad for him.
I did feel bad for him.
He's absolutely heartbroken that she did this. Yeah. Don't blame her, but James Marsters like face acting here, perfect. Because you do feel for him. The door slams. He's just standing out there with a little blonde hair. You can see through the window, and that's it. And that's the end of the episode. Poor Spike. In the end. In the last moment, you feel bad for him. You can't help it.
No.
All right. So, my favorite quote was Spike, of course, saying, "I'm drowning in you, Summers. I'm drowning in you." I like that little speech. Out of context, I like the speech. And then my favorite scene was Spike's confession down in that whole thing down there with Drusilla and everything. Because killing Drew would have been an absolutely massive deal. And he was willing to do it. So, yeah, that whole confession, like when he finally like pours his heart out to her, is a huge deal because we've been...
Only to be brutally rebuffed, but yes.
Yes, it is. But he lays it out there for her now. So now it's all out there now.
Yep.
Yes.
My favorite quote was right at the beginning, actually, when... he comes up to her at the bronze and he's like, "Oh, I thought you could use some company." And she's like, she said, I don't remember what was said right before this, but she said, "Actually, you were sleeping. This sleep knocked unconscious."
I remember. Okay, I can tell you.
Thank you. Because I was like, I put that out of context now.
He's like, "We were fighting that Glory chick together."
Right.
And she's like, "I was right there by your side." And she's like, "Actually, you were sleeping the sleep of the knocked unconscious." And then he goes, "Points for intent." I've seen this episode way too many times.
Okay. Yes, you have.
So that's the quote you were referring to.
And actually, my favorite scene was just like that short little bit when they, when he's like, "Oh, let's go to that warehouse, try and find these chain murderers," and they go and like she's like she's realizing that it's like a nested vampire nest.
Yeah.
And she's like, this was a waste of time. Like the car ride over, like how he's singing the Ramones, how he's offering her the drink, and then he opens the door, like that whole.
You mean their first date? Is that what you mean?
Yes. Yes, I love that scene. That was so cute.
Yeah, when he opens that door for her, I'm just like, trying to be a gentleman. Like, what is he doing? There's so many like mixed. Yeah, he does have a bad. There's so many like mixed things where it's like very sweet, and then he's like,
he sucks.
Demented.
Oh my god! Like at the end, Jesus.
But then he like tries to like open the door for her and like give her a drink. Like they're these like this is Spike and William. Like I feel like battling each other in his heart.
Yeah.
I've always remembered this like quote that James Marsters talks about how he kind of like sees Spike's feelings for Buffy. He says it's William and him calling out for something good, like to love something good. That it's William and him that loves Buffy, and I was like, oh,
that's really cute. Okay.
I just love it. So that's how he kind of like thinks about Spike and Buffy, like Spike's feelings for Buffy.
Okay.
Because like there was nobody like better guy than like William. Like he was a great guy.
He's such a sweet guy.
Yeah, sweet guy, and like so that's kind of the part of Spike that's like wants to love Buffy because she's so good. So I always remembered that. Okay, so steak rating. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Of course,
obviously.
I love this episode. This is like one of my top 5 favorite episodes. I'm just like Spike, heart sign, heart emoji. Of course, he deserved everything. Like, okay, don't come at me. And having Drew back was really interesting.
Yeah, actually it was. And just the fact that he didn't end up slaying her, so it does leave room for her to come back at some point, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said like the Angel crossover. It was kind of an Angel crossover, but
I mean, it had to have been because when she was talking about getting up like fire, I was like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Because most people that watched Buffy watched Angel too. So they could like do things like that and it would make sense.
I guess.
Because they were like companion shows together.
Okay.
So I thought that was kind of interesting if you got it. I like how they like still kind of keep the universes entwined a bit. And then her like rescinding his invitation.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, ouch.
That was a lot.
Ouch. Yeah, I just love the whole episode.
Yeah. Okay, I gave it a 4.8, which is basically a 5 for me.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
That was a very high rating. I really liked it. Yeah. I liked one of the things I liked too. It wasn't like a prominent part of the episode, but like how Dawn is kind of getting back to herself.
That's true. Yeah.
She's starting to accept things more. I feel like maybe with this thing that she's going through, it's almost like the stages of grief where she's like, denial, anger, or whatever. And now she's like at acceptance, and she's just like, this is what we have to do now. And I don't know if that's going to change, but for now it's good. And then like having Drew back was interesting. Just I got to see a lot more of Spike's professions for Buffy. I really hated when he gave her that ultimatum.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
just give me a crumb. I hated him so much in that moment. But
that was crazy. Or I'll kill you. Like,
yep.
Not the best plan.
You suck.
Yeah. Right. So your question for next week. The episode is called "I Was Made to Love You." Okay. Who asks Buffy on a coffee date? Spike.
Oh, wait. I feel like this is a trick. Can I guess 2 answers?
Sure, why not?
It's Spike or Ben.
Okay.
I guess it could be neither, but I'm guessing it's one of those.
Okay. We shall see.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that wraps up Season 5, Episode 14, Crush. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps and YouTube and Instagram at One Girl and All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with Season 5, Episode 15, I Was Made to Love You. Slay you real soon. Bye.